This next one right here, man, this is something that's I know near and dear to your heart for your twin Joe Budden. You know what I'm saying? Your alter ego. You know what I'm saying? This Joe Budden on the presidential executive over here, but Joe Budden and Royce the 5'9", they have an issue with Crooked Eye and Joel Ortiz. Tell me about that, Rag.
Well, I mean, so like a lot of y'all know Joe Budden's for his for him podcasting and love and hip hop and everything like that. But and after the Pump It Up, you know what I'm saying? Like what a lot of people heard from him on that, but like, you know, he was a very prolific MC. Like if you're a hip hop head, like very lyrical. You know me, Royce been my guy since way back. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been on Royce since I was a kid, man. 99, like, you know, I got on Royce.
Yeah, you put me on Royce actually, yeah.
And so I mean, I love those dudes, and through them actually doing features, I got on Joel Ortiz and Crooked Eye. And so like I got individual projects by all of them, so I love them all individually. And when they came together like Voltron and made SlaughterHouse, like, and again, like it's not no commercial, you know, playing the club, you know, shake your ass type stuff. But like if you just really want to hear some niggas that just be like spitting,
going in,
SlaughterHouse is your group. You know what I'm saying? Like if you love the battle rapping and stuff like that, like imagine taking some of that and putting it to a song.
Right.
Like they did that. And so they had 2 projects that came out and a bunch of mixtapes and stuff like that, but there was some issues with their third project. And so they ended up shelving it. And Royce, of course, was always good solo, so he kind of did that thing. Joel and Crooked kind of went back and started doing their thing. And, you know, Joe retired and he got more into the media space and everything like that. So the issue now is that Crooked and Joel have put out a project, which I believe is called The Rise and Fall of SlaughterHouse. And they're putting it out as the group SlaughterHouse. When the group SlaughterHouse is Joe Budden, Royce the 5'9", Joel Ortiz, and Crooked Eye.
Yeah.
So like the whole group is supposed to be a thing, but then, you know what I'm saying? Like it'd be like if you start just strictly doing Preacher Man and I started doing something else and Crown was shooting somebody else, and then Crown is like, okay, I'm finna get another dude and do the ThePrezEx podcast.
Right.
Like me and you would have an issue with that because you can't, you know, have the ThePrezEx without, you know what I'm saying, the presidential and the executive. You can't do it.
Right.
And so it's kind of like a situation like that. And so they're kind of going back and forth. And I really hate it because and they got videos all over the internet, all over YouTube.
I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't clicked on them yet, but just from what I've been seeing and what I've been looking at, it's like, which I get, because to your point, it's like, bro, like SlaughterHouse was us as a collective. So if you're trying to name this SlaughterHouse, like for me, Joe, I have no idea this is Joe, what he's thinking, but seems like a businessman. But if they were just willing to give him a percentage of whatever they sell because of the name and he's part of the name, I don't think he'd have a problem with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if they're like trying to just be like, this is SlaughterHouse and we're all the profits and stuff is going to go to us, it's like, hey, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I may be wrong, but as far as what I've gathered, and again, I have to go back and look at some of the videos, I don't know that they had a conversation prior to them doing it. I think the conversation came after they had already decided, like, we're going to do this and, you know, we're going forward to doing it. And then the conversation came, which from Royce and Joe's point, it's like kind of hurt. Like, you know, we could have sat down and talked about, you know, whatever it is or hashed out our issues. Because, like I said, they actually got a project with the 4 of them on there that they didn't release. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, they could have released, you know, I guess that project if they were going to do it.
Right.
But, you know, again, like, you know, I just hate that because that wasn't like a group that was put together by a record label. It's like, oh, you know what, JB, you're good. And Roche, you're good. And like, I don't know if you remember on Yo MTV Raps, Dr. Dre and Ed Lover.
Yeah.
Like, they were put together.
Right.
And it worked out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, New Edition kind of was, you know, put together a little bit. Like, you had some guys that were together, but then, you know, I believe it was
Bobby, Ralph, and Bev, the Bev Big DeVoe. Instead of the dude that
Mike
be,
and
that be rapping most of the time.
But no, Ronnie was the one.
Yeah, Ronnie came.
Ronnie got added.
Yeah.
Ronnie got added, then they added Johnny Gill. You know what I'm saying? So the whole group wasn't just an organic thing. Like you had some pieces that were put together,
right?
And it kind of worked. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover put together kind of worked, but like a Bone Thugs and Harmony was organic. SlaughterHouse was an organic thing, and it came from a song entitled SlaughterHouse, which it was a Joe Budden song. He hit Royce up. It's like, hey, I want to feature you on the song. He hit them up. And there was another guy that was on the song. And the song, they loved the song so much. It's like, hey, you know what? We should do this, as a group.
Right.
Like nobody put them together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they developed a genuine brotherhood and friendship to the point where anytime one of them was in the media or somebody was saying something, even after they broke up, it was like, no, don't come for my brother like that. Like that's family. Don't come for him like that. And they genuinely had each other's back. And so I just hate to see more than anything that the brotherhood is being affected by that.
This just actually came up in my head. Like, what if, like these dudes, Crooked Eye, I've heard him speak and stuff, very eloquent speaker when he, speaks, and Ortiz is, kind of more gutter, a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? But they know Joe Budden, where he at in the space that he's at. I'm thinking they knew if they were going to call this album that this was going to be an uproar and come out, maybe give more pub to maybe what they're doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they were like ignorant of that to where it's like, hey, let's go and do this. And then we know Joe. We know Joe ain't going. He going to say something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We know
Royce.
I don't know
if you saw the last thing he did, he actually had a spot on there where he was talking about the whole thing, and he was explaining like why the group broke up. And
who, Joe?
Yeah, and Ice and Ish kept trying to change the subject, and he kept going back to.
You know
what I'm saying? Like it's like, all right, let's talk about this whack whatever. Oh, I could talk about some whack, whatever. Like it's like, nah, we ain't gonna talk about that. Let's talk about it. Oh, I could talk about this. Oh, like he kept doing that. And so to your point, it might be a whole thing of.
I'm thinking some of that may have been because I'm like, these dudes know because Joe was pretty big. Like he had that little riff-raff with Maul and what's the other white dude? Rory and Maul. But they pretty much back flowing how they going now as far as the views and you know what I'm saying, attention that they've all been going.
It hadn't fell off because it's him and Ice, and even with the young ladies that he had an issue with one of them.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen too much of them lately, but he's still
Joe. And so that's what that would be interesting. I'm sure some of this stuff can be fleshed out. Like honestly, after this, I'm gonna go back and watch some of those videos to kind of get more information. Yeah. But I'm thinking these cats, they knew in the back of their head, like, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody really talking about them. You know what I'm saying? Ortiz or Crooked Eye. So it's like to gain a little buzz, maybe we need to ruffle the feathers a little bit and then talk about the business side, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit later.
Keep it presidential.